welcome back to part 2 of Make the Mains. It's a Revenge of the Sith special, and once again I am using my Revenge of the Sith sticker album from 2005 to get the main characters out for this film, kind of having a sort of an unbiased opinion. This is the official sticker album from 2005. We're taking the shiny stickers out of this. Whichever character got a shiny sticker is going to be featured on this video. Check out part 1 if you want to see who made the cut in the first half of the album. We're going to be concentrating on the next half, and here we go. I don't think anyone can deny Mace Windu. He got his own purple lightsaber. Of course he's going to get a shiny sticker in this album. It's too cool for Jedi School. Mace Windu, a character that had his own coloured lightsaber and matching droid. Mace Windu then, we have seen this character in the Vintage Collection. This is a Vintage Collection release. It's from Vintage 2.0 on an Attack of the Clones card back. It was originally done in Vintage 1.0. It's had the photoreal treatment. In terms of getting a re-release, I don't think you really need it, unless they were releasing him purely for an updated Revenge of the Sith card back. The Attack of the Clones figure, I think, for me at least, I think it's decent enough. Maybe the articulation isn't quite as up to date as the modern figures you get now, but it's a great likeness of Sam Jackson, I think. Yeah, maybe he's got a little bit more limited posability, but I think he displays very well on the shelf. I'd say there's a couple of Jedi figures here that you can see as part of Palpatine's arrest that are in desperate need of an update. Certainly Stacey Tin and Agent Kolar. I love the Kit Fisto. Again, another figure that got released on an Attack of the Clones card back. But yeah, that's Mace Windu. We did see him, obviously, in Revenge of the Sith, 2005 line. He's had many releases since. As you can imagine, with a main character, a Jedi, Revenge of the Sith certainly being his most active, I would have thought, out of the 3 films. Obviously, he has a huge role in the Clone Wars series as well. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against them doing an updated Mace Windu, but I think there's many characters that are probably worthy of an upgrade before they revisit this particular character. And this is where things turn a little bit grim in the movie. Order 66 gets carried out on Kashyyyk. Yoda is aided by everyone's favourite Wookiee. Surely everyone's favourite Wookiee. It's Chewbacca. The faithful Wookiee, Chewbacca. I would say he's a borderline main character here. I think the Battle of Kashyyyk is obviously one of the bigger battles in Revenge of the Sith, and obviously features quite prominently in the Order 66 rollout. Yeah, I mean, Wookiees in general have had a bit of a bum deal in recent years. You don't see many released in the line. We got Black Chrysanthemum from Book of Boba Fett. Prior to that, outside of Chewbacca, you probably got to go back to the Black series around 2013 for Meru Meru, who's sort of just stationed here. They did do a fair few Wookiees back in 2005, including this Chewbacca figure. Now, this Chewbacca figure, they haven't done this kind of a unique sculpt for this character. When you think of the last 20 years of Chewbacca figures, they've used largely the same sculpt, just with minor tooling differences here and there, particularly in the head sculpt. But yeah, this is like an all new but also unique Chewbacca sculpt for Revenge of the Sith, and he does look like a different. He does have a different look in Revenge of the Sith in comparison with the original trilogy. Would I like to see this character in the Vintage Collection on a Revenge of the Sith card? Yes, absolutely. Give us an all new Chewbacca. I think that would look great. To be honest, give us more Wookiees in general. They're bigger characters, so they're almost guaranteed now to be deluxe, based on Hasbro's new, whatever qualifies them to be deluxe these days. You know, slightly bigger characters, or if they come with more than an accessory. Let's get him in. We've seen a few releases of this character, yeah, through the years, but only one specific to Revenge of the Sith, and that's this one here, which again I do like. Kind of goes with the aesthetic. Obviously, there's a lot of figures from the late 2000s or from 2005 onwards. Having them on a shelf together, they look like they belong. But yeah, in terms of where they are up against, current releases, they could certainly do something with these figures. I've got Chrysanthemum just within reach, so let me just bring this guy in to show you what they can do with the Wookiees these days. And yeah, you can see like the likeness, the detail. There's so much difference there. Give that to Chewbacca, especially in a film where he's well, he doesn't see much action in Revenge of the Sith, but he does see action in the movies in general. So yeah, let's get him in the vintage collection. Right, from one Wookiee to one clone, the clone trooper. Now you don't actually see just the white phase 2 clone too much in this movie. There's a lot of specific battalions in the movie, so yeah, to get the white sort of shiny armor, yeah, not too common, but let's run this one down. Clone troopers in Revenge of the Sith were largely sort of colourful characters. They had different colour paint jobs depending on where they were stationed or what battalion they were from. You don't see many all-white clones, but here's a selection going all the way back to 2005 and up to the current vintage collection effort on the left-hand side. Yeah, this is a character that is going to see repack after repack. This is the current mould now. They've done away with the skinny legs. This one does have a removable helmet, but they've since done versions with the I'd say the swappable helmet, so it fits slightly better. I think yeah, we're up to date with the clone trooper body. We just haven't seen this version in vintage collection 2.0 on a Revenge of the Sith card back. We have seen him in 1.0, which is fine. It's an older sculpt now. We're seeing the 501st trooper released on various different card backs throughout the last couple of years. Here's the previous mold with the sort of skinny legs and a slightly oversized helmet. You can get 4 packs of clone troopers, so you can get the 212th, which was Obi-Wan's battalion. You can get the phase 1 clone troopers and now phase 2 clone troopers, which is like a mix of the plain white, the 501st, and Ahsoka's 322nd battalion. So yeah, they are kind of giving us clone troopers now. I think the only thing we're missing is probably having this version on an updated Revenge of the Sith card, but it is out there. You can buy vintage 1.0. So yeah, in terms of the clone trooper, yeah, they're kind of up to date. We will see just many more over the next few years. I'm sure they'll do every different combination that they can while they've got this updated sculpt, which is fair enough. People will buy them, people will army build them. Okay, we've seen the clones. Now we're on to the big bad. We had Palpatine earlier, Chancellor Palpatine. Well, he's now recognised by all as Darth Sidious. All right, heading all the way down to the bottom shelf now. It's not Yoda. It will be Darth Sidious. This is a character we got back in a vintage collection 1.0. I think it's a really cool head sculpt, really menacing. Probably the soft goods, maybe a little dated, possibly a bit too much contrast between the black and the brown. But I really like this character. I really like the head sculpt. I mean, this is the best version we've got to date. There's been various Palpatines from Revenge of the Sith, but as we covered in part 1, they're not great. They're not particularly the best likeness of Ian McDiarmid, and from a posability sort of point of view, they are very limited. To get him in those all black robes, I think would be kind of cool when he's sort of standing there with Vader at the end. But in terms of the duel, the sort of final duel, the final battle, yeah, this is pretty cool. Again, yeah, Hasbro could update him for future releases, but I don't think he'll be coming out in the vintage collection anytime soon. So for now, here we are, Palpatine. Okay, from the big bad to his nemesis, Yoda, his little green friend. Now Yoda's an interesting one because I don't think there's a definitive release of this character from over the years. We've had so many different versions from the prequels, the original trilogy, and the Clone Wars. This is a sort of a more limited articulation release. I believe it came in one of those multi-packs where it was just sort of repacked figures from the Force Link line that came with The Last Jedi. It's a decent sculpt, it's a decent likeness actually. This one, they don't all capture Yoda's likeness very well in action figure form, and he's obviously such a small character as well that it's hard to get the articulation in on a character this size without compromising the detail and like the pose a bit, like his silhouette, I guess, if you like. But again, we had plenty of releases. Even in Revenge of the Sith, there were multiple releases of this character. He's a character that will always feature in the main line. We haven't had too many in the Vintage Collection. We've obviously had the Empire Strikes Back version, and we had a version in 1.0 that was released on a Revenge of the Sith card, and also Return of the Jedi alternate card back, I guess. I don't think that it's not a particularly, not a favourite character, not a favourite card back of mine or a figure of mine. Say I used this cheaper Yoda, I guess, for want of a better word, more limited articulation, but I think he's got a better silhouette in general. And again, when I've got him fighting Sidious, I've got him with his back to Sidious, so they can kind of, they look like they fit for dueling. Right, at this point we're sort of seeing the demise of the Jedi here, and Yoda and Obi-Wan, two of the surviving members. Obi-Wan, well worthy obviously of his shiny status. Let's run this one down. Well, we've already seen Anakin Skywalker. We've already featured him in part 1. Now we're going to feature his master, Obi-Wan Kenobi. What a torrid time he had in this film, seeing his apprentice fall to the dark side and then having to confront him at the end, only to chop off all his limbs and then leave him for dead. Yeah, not a great day. And this isn't a great figure. They haven't done a lot to the 2005 release of Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's been repacked, maybe slight tooling upgrades or just changes along the way, but this is essentially as modern an Obi-Wan figure that you'll get from Revenge of the Sith. So yes, it is of its time. We know we're getting an updated Anakin Skywalker. I think it won't be long before we see this Obi-Wan get an update in the Vintage Collection. We've seen many releases of Obi-Wan from the Obi-Wan series. I think we're up to 3 with a 4th on the way. I think back in the 2000s they actually did flood the market with Obi-Wan Kenobi figures, but we haven't seen many in the last 10-15 years, so this one hopefully will be a welcome upgrade when it comes. You can see like the articulation is fine. I mean, it technically is super articulated, but no rocker ankles, the face real face and the barbell hips, all of that is missing. If we're getting an updated Anakin Skywalker, then we need an updated Obi-Wan Kenobi. He does feature in the Vintage Collection 1.0, but I think enough time has passed that we could see a re-release of what is essentially one of the main characters in Revenge of the Sith. Okay, we're coming to an end now. You can see the Battle of Mustafar raging on. But here we go. Protocol Droid C-3PO, of course, a main character throughout the entire Skywalker saga. Here he is in all gold. Let's run his figure down. Right, well, where do we start with C-3PO? This is the 2005 release. You can see it's vac metalized. Limited articulation, but a decent representation of this character. In the Vintage Collection, there has been only one C-3PO release on an Empire Strikes Back card back. And the less said about that figure, the better, I think. We need this character in the Vintage Collection, full stop. Whether it's Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, or otherwise, he's really underrepresented in the modern line. And what we do have in more recent releases just isn't really up to scratch. As I say, this is one of the better C-3PO figures. It's got vac metal finish. It's good head sculpt likeness, but as I say, there's no articulation in the knees or the elbows. So yeah, but that's C-3PO. Interested to know what you guys think Hasbro would do with this figure if we just got one updated Protocol Droid sculpt. That would lead the way for so many others. You can see just behind him, that's a Disney Droid Factory Protocol Droid from the Phantom Menace, which I've repurposed for my Revenge of the Sith display, because there is a silver Protocol Droid in this little scene when the heroes return back to Coruscant. Yeah, C-3PO. I mean, I wouldn't say he's a main character in Revenge of the Sith, but he is absolutely a main character in the Star Wars saga, and therefore is worthy of an upgrade. Yeah, get him on a Revenge of the Sith card. Get him on an Attack of the Clones card. A New Hope, Empire, Jedi. Throw in the sequel trilogy and the Clone Wars while you're at it. This character just needs to be in the vintage collection. From C-3PO to his maker, the last shiny in the sticker album, it is Darth Vader. We don't really see Darth Vader much, obviously, in his armor at this stage. It's really just the final scenes of the movie where we see Padme giving birth to the twins and Anakin becoming fully fledged Vader. This is the Skywalker saga. Revenge of the Sith was the film that bridged the gap between the prequels and the original trilogy. We started Make the Mains with Anakin Skywalker. It's only fitting that we end Make the Mains with Anakin Skywalker again. It's Darth Vader. We have seen, again, like all of these characters, Darth Vader has probably been made more than any other character out there. I don't have the stats. Maybe Boba Fett takes the medal there, but no, I mean, Darth Vader will be out in every line going. There's not generally a year that goes by that you don't see Darth Vader in some guise. In the vintage collection specifically, we haven't seen Vader on a Revenge of the Sith card back. Not in his suit. Obviously, we've had Hayden Christensen on with a Darth Vader name pill, but we haven't seen this suited Darth Vader on a Revenge of the Sith card back. There is a version that exists in the Black Series. I think if he was to get a Revenge of the Sith release, they'll probably just update the latest tooling. We've had recent releases in Rogue One, A New Hope, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So they have the tooling there for a decent Vader, certainly from this movie. Let me get some of these droids out of the way. Oh, there we go, just the one. And this is the this is the birth of Vader, I guess. This is the operating table where the medical droids are sort of putting him together in his armor. It's a cool figure. It's of the time. Clearly, you can see, there's removable parts, the helmet, the cape, the boots, and the gloves. They all come off to reveal different parts of Anakin Skywalker, who lost those limbs. Being a 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, I think it would be a real misstep if Hasbro didn't at least give us something from this film. It doesn't look like Revenge of the Sith is much of a focus this year, with Return to Tatooine being their sort of main story for the year. That doesn't mean that we won't get the odd figure out, and Vader would be an easy one for Hasbro to do. It would be a big seller because Vader always sells. I think you could probably either kit bash or re-release. Don't hate me, I don't know all the different costume variants, but I think it would be an easy enough character to do. Oh, we're also getting a Return of the Jedi Vader coming this year as part of that 3-pack. So there's another new Vader coming in the vintage collection. But yeah, I think Revenge of the Sith would just make sense for this character to come out. I think main character, easy repack or kit bash, Revenge of the Sith card, just something to tide us collectors over, and they can at least say, well, we gave you something in this line. Again, yeah, they haven't been shy with Vaders over the years, even in Revenge of the Sith, but he is overdue his vintage collection card back. Well, guys, we made it. That's the end of my Make the Mains video series for Revenge of the Sith. I'll try and do some more Make the Mains videos on this channel throughout the year. Let me know if there's a particular series you want me to cover when it comes to Make the Mains. If there's a particular film or TV series where you think they're underrepresented and you want us to go through character by character a bit more in depth, let me know in the comments. If you've enjoyed this, give the video a like, a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe to the channel if you've liked what you've seen. I've been Dave of the Dead, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.